How you doing,
Beautiful
brother?
people, beautiful people. What's up, man? It's your boy Smith hanging out. Hey, I want to first off thank you for taking time on this beautiful morning to join me on my YouTube channel, Smith the Speaker. I am him, him is I, he is we is me. Whatever you want to say, that's how I get down. We doing it real live. We're gonna do it for about 45 minutes, strong, solid. Anything in between then happens in between that we might get to 50, 55, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just sit back. If you got your coffee, if you got your hot chocolate, if you got the orange juice, if you got your brews like me, I keep a nice little drink, sip it, relax, hey, and enjoy the conversation. Tap in if you feel like it. Again, we just want to make sure that everybody is heard and that there is some results and some solutions and maybe even some advice after these 45 minutes or so, right? So before we start, I just want to make sure that you understand that my live stream, Smith the Speaker, is brought to you by the nonprofit BRUH, Brothers Raising Up His, where kids come first. They are the cause. Understand that. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we provided free math tutoring. We provided a STEM program. We provided career development. We've given away a car, free mattresses. Man, if it's about that life, then that's what Bruh gets down with. You know what I'm saying? So go check out Bruh. They're on Facebook. Got a Twitter. I always get Twitter and X mixed up. I don't know. They need to figure out what we calling it. You know what I'm saying? But they're over there too. Some house cleaning before we jump into it. One person speaking at a time. We just respect the other person. Respect their opinions. Throw your phone on mute. Don't turn it off because I know we all doing business right now. And if you got something going on in the background, man, just mute your mic so we can make sure that we hear the message that's getting across today. With that said, folks, beautiful people, today's topic, I got two wonderful brothers. I'm waiting for the third to join me. We're going to have a foursome up in this piece. Today's topic is relationships with women. This one kind of I struggle with because sometimes when we talking about who we are as black men and then our relationship with women, sometimes we got to be self-incriminating, and a lot of bros really ain't ready to make that move or to share some of that. So the gentleman that I chose today to come on, I think they'll be open and honest. And then another thing I will say is, if a question or a discussion topic does come up and you don't feel comfortable answering, man, don't feel like you on the spot or nothing. Just, politely refrain and be like, you know what, I'm a pass on that. I don't think it's too challenging, but again, this is not going to be your run-of-the-mill questions, softball stuff like that. So with that said, we're waiting for the third person. In the meantime, in between time, I got my man Khalil. Khalil, what's up, man? Where you from, Khalil? How you living today?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm from North Oakland, bruh. Born and raised North Oakland. Reside out in Solano County now, but born and raised in Oakland. But I'm from all over the Bay. I worked at Kaiser for 16 years prior to retiring, and literally, it took me from Gilroy to Sacramento, Petaluma to Livermore, Brentwood to Richmond, Vacaville to Redwood City, and everything in between. So I'm a Bay Area kid, Bay Area native, man. But I appreciate everything you doing, Smitty. So thank you for having me on this platform this morning, my brother.
Man, all good. You a nomad. My man gets around, boy. Ain't no sand, no soil in the Bay. He ain't touched. Troy, what's up, man? Where you from? How you living, bro?
Ain't no soil in the Bay he hasn't touched. I love that one.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That was fantastic. I'm a local kid. I've been a few places. I can never say I lived or stepped foot in Gilroy on purpose. And I'm okay with that.
Not even the garlic festival, bro. Come on, man. Not the garlic festival.
Bro, I said on purpose.
Man.
I think I fell through there one time. But that was about it. Just doing my thing. Do I gotta go through my resume, or we don't need to go through that?
Man, talk to me, bro. What you want to do? Say it, man. This is what we do. This is a discussion. Talk to me.
Right now, I'm currently the president of the National Action Network's Bay Area chapter, which covers everything from San Francisco to Dixon. I'm helping my wife flourish her business to new heights. Still doing, of course, I'm a political strategist and messaging. So
we can see by the background. We can see by the background.
Well, this I would put up even if I wasn't doing my political thing, because I do believe this is important.
I can
for a lot of different reasons that people don't like, but
not for real. Yeah. So what I do want to say, just thank you both for giving me this space, giving me this minute of your life. Real quick I've been to the Gilroy Festival one time, the Garlic Festival, and they had garlic asparagus, garlic ice cream, garlic crab cakes. It was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't eat nothing, that stuff that I did not know. The garlic goat, no, your boy's not messing with it. You know what I'm saying?
I had garlic goat.
Garlic goat. Check this out. My boy said, just because you put syrup on pig shit, don't make it pancakes. So stop trying to put garlic on stuff that it don't belong. Anyway, let's get to the topic, gentlemen. I don't want to waste your time. Again, feel free to jump in whenever you want. Let's have a discussion. What I'm going to throw out is just questions, random. And then if you have a question you feel like is part of that, take it somewhere, man, let's do that. We got 35, 40 minutes. Let's get into it. Gentlemen, what was your first advice you remember receiving about women and entering into a relationship with a woman?
You know,
I told y'all this ain't normal. This ain't normal. I don't do things the normal way.
And Smitty, you're gonna like this. My first advice I can remember was from my mother, and she told me to treat a woman the way that they can present themselves to be treated.
Present themselves. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
And because that's really the only thing, and as I got older and the more I thought about it, that's really the only thing you can do. You can't treat a woman and be effective at it the way they say they want to be treated, or the way you think they should be treated.
Go deeper into that presented, because you said the way they present themselves. And I only think about how because we're visual. Are we talking? Okay, talk to me about that.
And that's exactly the thing. So if a woman decides to present themselves as, I want to be this strong, independent woman, but then they act as if they're a damsel in distress all the time, there's that level of confusion. So hold on, wait, do I double dutch in when you're a damsel, but then when I try to help you as a damsel, you're going to fight me because you want to be independent?
Mixed signals.
Consistently. That's a consistent thing that we run into. And so my mother, I'll give my mother a lot of credit for a lot of my upbringing, because it became a thing where she told me, my mother understood that she could never teach me how to be a man. That's not her job. But she always knew that she could teach me how to treat women. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, if you know my mom. But
I was going to say, I don't know, I've never met her, but there's one awesome saying. We ain't going to get into it now, but you already know what I'm talking about. That's why I love you.
But I already know what you're talking about. Yes.
Absolutely. Khalil, talk to me, bro. What was that first piece of advice?
For me, it was, I'll give you a little background leading up to it. I got two conflicting pieces of advice, okay? So I'm going to give it to you from the advice I got from my mother, and then the advice I got from my father, to tell you kind of the dichotomy as a young man growing up and the conflict that we receive as far as messaging from maybe our parents or something. So first and foremost, leading up to that, when I was a kid, my mom, I'll never forget, my dad took my brothers and my older brothers. I'm the youngest of three. And my pops took my older brothers to the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, right?
Okay.
And my mom took me to a wedding. So I was too young to go to the Olympics. I went to a wedding. So because of my age, my exposure with certain things was just different, okay? My outlook was just different. But my mom's advice, I didn't really seek advice until I went through my first breakup in high school. And my mom told me it's better to love and lose than never love at all. She didn't really give me advice about how to deal with a woman, but she told me, Khalil, it's better to love and lose than go your whole life never loving at all. It's okay to open up and wear your heart on your sleeves. Now, conversely, my dad, and he didn't tell me in these same words because my dad a little bit different. He's funny. He one of them Kevin Hart dads, you know what I mean? But my dad told me at the same time when I was going through the breakup, he said, hey, brother, don't worry about it. Go to college. At college, it's wall-to-wall women. They outnumber the men 10-1. So his advice was, you're going to get over it by exposing yourself to life. Go to college. You're going to get over this woman. You'll meet other women. And I'm not going to lie. I took a gap year after college. But one of the biggest things in my mind was when I was going back to college, Pop said it's 10-1. You know what I'm saying? I know if I go to college and get involved in these classes, one thing I'm going to do is meet some women, possibly a future wife. So those are my two pieces of conflicting advice that I got when I seeked it from my parents.
Okay, that's phenomenal, because the two things I got out of the one is wearing your heart on your sleeve. And again, this is why I'm doing this journey that I'm on, is understanding the love that Black men possess that we're never understanding. We're never taking it deeper than that, right? Because moms is telling you to wear your heart on your sleeve, but if you raised in a particular environment, you can't wear your heart on your sleeve, because now you taking for a punk, or you soft, and cats is going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that one part, right? But then here comes Pops, or the male version, telling you, man, it's 10-1 ratio, boy. You better suck that up and move on.
You better go get that.
Go right.
Yep.
So here, check me out, Khalil. Bruh, me and you. Look here. So again, I gotta throw myself under the bus. I heard the same 10-1 ratio. Now I don't know who made this 10-1 ratio up, bro. If y'all know somebody that know the cat that made up this 10-1, or who did the scientific math, who was sitting in the laboratory late at night, was like, "Oh, it's 10-1." Man, tell him, call me. But anyway, in my mind, I'm thinking 10-1. Hold on, 10-1. What about those cats that's in prison? That's 10 more from me, right? Now, what about the cats that turned and they like to own such as a day? So that's 10 more. So now it's 30-1. You know what I'm saying? But again, I don't have nobody to rationalize with me, to talk to me the right way, to give me the input. So I understand the dichotomy. It's absolutely real, Khalil. Thank you for bringing that up. I think the word is important, because when we, as young Black men, and this is the purposes of the show, is to advise and just give our lived experiences, for most of the time we get conflicting stories. You know what I'm saying? So I will say with that goes into the conflicting stories. Then what should we expect from women if we get two different stories? Because Troy said, his mom told him this, and then you saying your mom and dad told you this. Then what should we expect? Like, do we go inside ourselves? Man, y'all gotta what should we expect from ourselves and from women?
You know what? The funniest thing, just in this day, and look at it in this day and age, I think men have gotten away from one thing, and it's our value within ourselves.
I love it.
We don't value ourselves as individuals because we were never taught that. We were never taught the idea of, wait, hold on, you are important. You have a value. We were always taught, what was the saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Oh,
be happy you got a woman. What's the other?
Hold on, wait, stop. Be happy you got a woman is powerful.
Yes.
Like we don't deserve a woman to love us.
No, we should be happy that we're in that position, that somebody has decided to take care of us and and make sure that we got somebody to cook and clean for us.
Wait. Unpack that trauma. Why? Man, I never thought about that, bro. And that's why I'm glad you're here. We're not supposed to deserve a wonderful woman that loves us unconditionally.
No, we're taught, but they gotta remember we're taught through generationally taught that if we don't have certain things in our life, and namely a woman, we're not complete. And transversely, women are taught that if you're not married, you're not complete. So we fall into this weird sort of dichotomy of trying to understand where we fit and not understanding that, we do, as men, we actually have value. As women, you do have value.
Well, hold on. Let's go here. Khalil, you had the gap year. We both understand 10-to-1 ratio. When did you find completeness? Did you find completeness?
Oh, hey, bro, I think completeness is something that honestly, first of all, I don't think a person can bring you completeness. I think a person can be a part of that puzzle to completeness. But if you're looking for a person to complete you, you barking up the wrong tree. You know what I mean?
Yes.
One of the things I was going to say
100%.
is when you talked about expectations, one of the things I was going to say is I think with a lot of these young men is they don't have expectations of themselves. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going into a relationship and I don't even know how to give myself expectations in a relationship, what happens is I'm going to put too many expectations on my partner because I don't even know how to put those same accountabilities and expectations on myself. You know what I mean? So
Preach, brother.
I think that needs to be unpacked right there. And another thing I want to say is the comment, happy wife, happy life is so one-sided. So back to Troy, it's like, yeah, you got to have a wife. If not, they almost gauge you. I'm going to let you know I got my two dads, my stepdad and my dad. My stepdad married to my mom, right? And people look at him, he got the grandkids coming over, they live in the house, he married. They look at him a certain way as opposed to my dad who's single. But my dad is loving life just as much. But here's the thing, whatever happened to happy spouse, happy house? Like whatever happened to including both spouses in the happiness of the house? Why is it just happy wife, happy life, and just forget the husband? What about happy spouse, happy house? And at that point in time, we concentrate on both making each other happy. And I know I gave you a lot to unpack, so I'm gonna shut up and we can dissect some of that.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. That's the problem right there. Because, and you said, thank you, number one. That was wonderful. Thank you. So we run into that. We run into that what we've been taught and what's been put on us through media, through going to church, and most of the times that they don't understand and they don't tell us that everything has a balance, but they'll tell us everything has a balance except for your house. Your house is the only thing. Well, oh no, that's your wife's house. She run this. She better be happy. She better be this. She better be that. And I'm like, hold on. What about the man? Well, he just need to suck it up and keep pushing. That's what a man does. Hold on. But if a man is miserable and then he go out and he decides he wants to start drinking, he decides he wants to go find something on the side to give him balance because he can't find it with his spouse. So his spouse is messed up. So his house is messed up. So he go to find some extra, and then that's his fault. But not understanding just what the basics. And the one wonderful thing that you said, I'm sorry, Smitty, you know how I get sometimes.
Go, bro, go.
One of the wonderful things that you said was we're not taught that as kids, right? And it's even more important right now as teaching our young men to understand your value. And it's not with these chicks who's giving up their perception of being cool, being their perception of a wifey, being a perception, oh, I can take care of my man, but you bring nothing to the table except for your tail. That's what we're running against. And we need to be taught. We need to take our young men and have them taught. Oh, what happened to Cleo?
Right. He dropped probably bad signal, but I'm gonna get him back on. Let's keep going, bro. I got you.
And probably and teach our young men and women what valuing ourselves first really means.
Right.
Like you were saying before, and like on the plane, if the mask come down, I got to put it on myself first.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
I don't do that, and he was right. If you don't take care of yourself first, find your own level of peace, you'll never find the right person for you. That just won't happen.
Okay. So see what here, the word dichotomy has jumped off multiple times today. That's why I put it in the chat so people can understand what we're talking about, right? So here's another dichotomy to both you guys' point. This happy wife, happy life, but then also you the king of your castle. Well, how can you be the king of your castle if you constantly making your wife happy and your word or your input is not valuable? You know what I'm saying? So when we start talking about hold on. Time out. I'm gonna go back to this question I throw out randomly to folks when we start talking about relationships and getting into it with your girlfriend, your wife, whatever the case is. I'm gonna ask both of you. Both of you are married, was married, whatever the case is. I'm going to tell you what I think. I didn't do it, but what I think. When you first saw your wife, what was the first question that came to your mind? The first question that came to your mind.
I met my wife at her place of work.
Me too.
And the first question that came to my mind, honestly, was, is she single? I ain't gonna lie. When I saw her, I was like, damn, she is gorgeous. She has all of the physical features that I like, but I want to know if this woman is single, because physical features will only get you, sir. Physical features will get you to the start line. But just so you know, to run that gauntlet,
marathon,
because life is a gauntlet. Exactly. It's a marathon. It's one of them steeplechases. You're gonna be jumping over water. You're gonna be running through stuff. It's a steeplechase, bro. Like, but I can your physical appearance is like, all right, she physically got what it takes to jump over that hurdle, to run through that water, to run 20, whatever it is. But does she have the mental to at the end push through? If she falls down to get back up and still make it. I don't know if anybody watched the Olympics, but it was this one person that fell. They got back up and made it still to the front of the pack. You know what I'm saying? So
bro fell in the water.
Exactly. I need to know where your heart is at, where your mind is at, where your how do you bounce back from negative situations? How do you deal with no's? How do you deal with adversity? You know what I mean? So, but that's what I initially thought.
No, that's the grown Khalil, because your first initial was, is she single? Troy, what was your first question you asked?
So the funny thing about me and Steph was that we met over the phone. And we talked and were friends without ever meeting for about 2 years. Just talk. We just connected over the phone. So it wasn't a.
What's the first question, bro?
Hold on, let me get to it. I just got to get a cute part about my relationship with my wife.
Boy, trying to get romantic.
The first thing, damn. I don't even know if I asked a question or I had her first, because I had to, you know what? I had the first thing that I thought when I saw her, I was like, oh, that's what she looks like.
Got you.
That was the first thing. Oh, that's what she looks like. That's why I had to set it up, because I talked to her for 2 years. We knew each other's kids' names and all of that, but we never met.
Well, no. So I'm getting somewhere, because I'm with Khalil. My first thought was, damn, she fine and she's single. Like, she got a man, because I need to have that, right?
Now, that's the thing. I already knew that she was single. I already knew everything about her life.
But no. When you followed up, you said, "Oh, that's what she looks like." Like, I just needed to confirm, like, what you look like. That was your question, right? Yeah. Now, when we start talking about the relationship part, like Khalil said, the marathon part, we in the steeplechase, right?
Yeah.
What we should be asking is, hey, you got bipolar in your family? Hey, do you mind me going out with the bros on Friday and Saturday night, or watching football all day and not even caring about what's being cooked for dinner. Like impactful questions like, did your dad abuse you? Did your mom neglect you? Did your brothers beat on you? Did you know what I'm saying? Like, what was your challenges? And I say all of that to ask you this one question, because it's where I'm going with this. Did anybody ever encourage you to learn or ask the fragility of a Black woman's heart? Has that ever came up in the question? Like, man, I need to be worried and ask her about her heart. Is her heart okay? Is she strong enough to endure who I am and what I've been through?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, man, because look, we all bring baggage. We all bring our lived experience into the relationship. But I'm about to go into this relationship, or I want to enter into this relationship with this fine woman who I can visually see is fine. But is her heart strong enough to deal with me and what I've been through?
Go ahead, Khalil. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, Smitty, when you mentioned the younger Khalil versus the more mature Khalil, look, I had to go through, and I think this is what a lot of us as men, especially as Black men, we don't do those. I had to really do some self-awareness. I had to really back up and do some self-checkups on myself, bruh, and ask myself some really deep, pertinent questions. And the thing is, when I start asking myself those pertinent questions, it made me need to ask those questions to my potential partner. When I was 20, like you said, I'm worried about that fat ass, bruh. That's all I'm worried about.
We keep it 1,000 on here, boy.
I'm worried about that fat ass. Is she pretty? Yada, yada, yada. We'll worry about the conversations later on. You feel me? Because I'm in my 20s. But you get to a certain point where you like, nah, man. Like, that's one thing. The aesthetically pleasing thing is one thing, but that's once again only gonna get you so far. And for me, with my wife, I made sure we had those questions, because a lot of people will get hung up on the wedding day and they never have conversations about the 30, 40, 50-year planned marriage, which the wedding day is cool, but that's 4 or 5 hours. This marriage is about to last, hopefully, if we do this right, for the rest of our lives. And like you said, I need to know, how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal with finances? What do you do on the holidays? What's your religious life like? If I go play golf with my homeboys, is that okay? What's our sex life looking like? All of these things are very important questions, because you get into the thick of it and your woman want to have sex once a month. You want to have it 3 times a week. She want to rear the children a certain way. She don't want to go to church. You want to go to church. You want to build a business and be philanthropic. She want to stay at home and go to work, but not entrepreneurial endeavors. It's like, okay, that could make or break a relationship. And I believe the best things in life are on the other side of vulnerability. And the sooner you have those conversations with somebody and be vulnerable. If I know you for 3 months and we having difficult conversations and we realize we don't like each other, we ain't got that much skin in the game. But the last thing I want to do is have a difficult conversation with a woman I built a life with 5 years down the line. And it's like, oh, we just now having this conversation? Have them conversations early and often, bro.
Hold on. Let me tell y'all. Hey, bruh, I think our biggest difficult conversation with me and my most beautiful was private school over public school. Hey, Ian, can you get on mute?
Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. Because I'm like, hey, man, why we got to pay all this money to private school? Look at me. I turned out great. I went to public school. You know what I'm saying? So, again, to your point, like, these questions need to be asked, man. Yeah, she fine for those first 15, 20 minutes, maybe a month or two. But then what after that? Like what we going into? Like what? And this goes to this, brings me to this part, because Khalil brought it up about right now at 20. I'm thinking about, that's a fat ass. She fine as hell. You know what I'm saying? But then what happened, or how do we, or did we ever, or what's up with the romance and the courting? And then how do you keep that? How do you keep that romance, or how do you keep that attraction, that physical, what you had that first 10 minutes to 10 months into 10 years? How you court in 20 years? Are we planning for the future? We're gonna sit here and invest our money in a long-term life insurance policy, but we ain't thought about the process of investing in a long-term marriage. Someone talk to me.
So first, Khalil, you said the one thing when you first started that, it was great. In order to ask those questions as men, we need to ask them of ourselves first. We need to, because you really can't ask those questions if you already don't know the answers that you have. You can't ask that.
We throwing darts in the blind, basically. You throwing darts in the dark.
And being honest within that relationship. Because if you can't answer those questions yourself, whatever she says really ain't gonna matter. Because you don't even know the answers to them. So it really don't matter. And she can be telling you the perfect stuff, but you haven't answered those yourself. So you don't even know if that's a good answer or not.
Oh, wait.
Because I know with my wife, Tiff said one of the best things she's ever said to me in our marriage, in our relationship, is that we don't have stepkids, we just have kids.
That's it. End the conversation.
Yep.
That's all I needed to know.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you one of the greatest things that my most beautiful told me, and this goes into this conversation about longevity and legacy. And when we start talking about to Khalil and Detroit's point about who you are and finding out who you are and what your expectations are, right? It's not the intent, it's the impact. It's not the intent, it's the impact. And how we say things and how we receive things could be different. And if we ain't ready to have an intellectual conversation about these things when someone says something, then that 10 minutes when she used to be fine now comes the fuck it, I'm done. I ain't got time, because I ain't like you said, I ain't even questioned myself about this shit. But now I got you questioning me, and I'm so I ain't even vulnerable yet, because I ain't even worthy of myself, because I ain't even judged myself yet. I ain't even gave myself the boundaries or the grace to go into and have a conversation about my feelings and about my expectations and about my misconceptions about what I expect of you. Ian, bruh, thank you for joining me, man. I know you at the game. I hope you ain't drunk, falling down, or fighting yet. What's your input on, man, just women in general, and how you entered into relationships and some of the turmoil or maybe some of the great things you learned?
So, first of all, thanks for having me, Spit. And yeah, I'm not drunk. Normally, you know how I do. We roll out. We roll out. You guys get drunk. I drive you around.
Right. Of course.
No, but I've been listening, and you guys are all hitting it right on the head, right? So we're knuckleheads. You know, we're looking for this. We're looking at, oh yeah, whoop de whoop. She's fine. She's this. She's that. But what does she got to bring to the table? And you don't know. You know, it's all like a guess in the beginning, right? But they always say something that's going to strike a nerve that makes you want to go to that next level. And for example, with my relationship, I knew when I wanted to get married, because as you guys know, my wife is from New York, right? At the time, I just got over knee surgeries, and you know, as family, we know I have bad knees and this and that, right? So here it is. I fall in love with this chick that's 3,000 miles across the United States, you know, and I'm like, you know, I did her wrong in the beginning, truthfully, you know, and I'm putting my business out there because I love her. I did her wrong in the beginning because I wasn't sure. I didn't know if she was going to come out here. So she was committed and I was committed, but I wasn't truly committed. But blood, when I heard her and I knew I heard her, I was on a plane, blood, going to New York, telling her, hey, straight up, look, I know I messed up, but that was just because I wasn't sure. I'm a man of my word. I'm here now. What's up? You know what she told me? She said, you ain't gonna move out here. And I said, I'm not. She said, no. She goes, you got bad knees. You ain't gonna handle this cold. I'm coming out there. She uprooted her whole entire life, gave up everything she has. Her family's there, everything's there. So as a woman, I'm taken back. I'm like, yo, what? I'm trying to explain to I wonder how I'm going to tell my family, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to New York.
Right.
She was like, no, you ain't got to do that. And you know how our family does. Once you're in the family, you just in the family.
That's it.
Everybody took her in. It was all good. But blood, when you're willing to uproot your family like that and uproot yourself like that, leave your family behind, and come across the United States and be with a dude, yeah, I knew I was locking him down then. So
Well,
that's where I'm at.
no, no, no. First of all, I just want to thank you for sharing that vulnerability, because a lot of us won't say that part of the game. We just want to show, we want to highlight the great part. You know what I'm saying? What about this vulnerability? Like, how do we take that? Again, to the dichotomy that Khalil brought up in the very beginning. You know, hey, moms want you to do this, pops want you to do this. How do we take that vulnerability into a relationship and then make that relationship work without us losing our manhood? Let that.
You know what the funny thing is about that is that we actually have to, and we actually once that happens, because I say we have to because you can't be the tough dude all the time. You just can't. You will get worn out. Everybody in the house is going to get worn out. That's just not going to happen. And your home is supposed to be, as Black men, we understand this more than anybody else, that we got to be tough on the outside. Once we step out that door, we got so many fights that we got to go through on a daily basis just to come back home.
Yeah.
That we have to have a place where we can be vulnerable, where we can just be, you know what?
A safe harbor. A safe harbor. A safe harbor.
Exactly. We have to, because we got to fight them seas every time we go out. Every time we go out to sea, it is a storm that we don't know. Even at our age, we don't know if we're going to run into something.
Hey, brothers out there like Captain Ahab every single day.
Every day. It's worth being
God, Moby Dick. Yeah.
And it's the thing. So, and then at the same time, if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable, if we don't say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. Just like my man said, he admitted the vulnerability to admit to another person that I did wrong and forgive me, to open up yourself to do that. His reward is what we all get.
And hold on. This goes back to what you had said earlier, Troy, like we don't deserve it. Ian, what was you thinking? Because I know in my mind, if I'm thinking I'm about to go tell so-and-so I did you dirty, what was you thinking the response was going to be? You didn't expect the one you got, right?
Nah, I didn't even know. I just only thought in my mind was I'm on my way out there. I had to get out of work. I didn't know what she was going to say to me.
That's because we go back to what Troy said. We are conditioned to believe that we're not worthy to make a mistake and someone allow us some grace to learn from that mistake. Right? So we closing on the end, but I want to say this because it's important to me. And I'm going to ask you three, and I want your honest opinion. And if you don't want to share it, that's fine. In a relationship, whether it's your girlfriend, your spouse, whatever, what does love look like and how does it endure? What does love look like and how does it endure?
Me, myself, just growing up the way I grew up is just have a safe place at home where you know your wife can be safe. And as a man, just do whatever you can to make her happy. Sometimes it ain't the money. Sometimes it ain't, the material things. Sometimes it's just listening and try and put your manhood aside and just hear her out from a woman's perspective. Because they different than us. We all know that. They're well different from us. We ain't never going to understand as a man, right? I mean, we'll get some of it, but open your mind up and just try your best to put yourself in their shoes. As a man, it's hard to do that, but if you try, something will come out of it.
Effort.
Yeah.
Hey, Smitty.
Who got
Smitty?
Yo.
Smitty. Love look like a pot of gumbo, bro. And here's the thing about it is everybody make gumbo different, right? Some people make a seafood gumbo. Some people putting chicken in their gumbo. Some people putting okra in their gumbo. It's all kind of different gumbos. Here's the thing, though, is I think as Black men, number one, none of us know our own 5 love languages. You mentioned the 5 love languages to most Black, they don't understand 5 love languages. What you talking about? So then for them to then have identified their own 5 love languages is a whole nother step, right? And then what happens is if I know my 5 love languages, physical touch, words of affirmation, what happens is like those my top 2, right? Then you got quality of time, acts of service, then you got gifts. But what happens is I'm busy trying to speak my love languages to my wife. I'm trying to rub on her butt. I'm trying to tell her how awesome she is. When in actuality, her love languages are quality time, acts of service, then physical touch. I don't think we have the conversations enough to say, well, baby, look, if your love language is this, that, and the other, I can go around speaking Chinese all day. But if you're speaking Cantonese, we ain't speaking the same damn language. You
We ain't
correct? So at
communicating.
some point in time, we might want to learn each other's languages to ensure that we're speaking.
Hey, my nigga, my nigga, we need Babbel. We need Babbel. That's what you're saying.
But keeping it real, though, like you said, though, it goes back to that vulnerability. We can't be scared to be vulnerable, because what happens with vulnerable is, number one, we scared they're going to use it against us, marginalize us, ostracize us with our own vulnerability. But once you get past that and put yourself in that 8 Mile perspective, all right, let's think about it. When Eminem came, he was vulnerable and he talked about all his imperfections, because at that point in time, I disarm you from using my vulnerabilities against me. And once again, that's what's the greatest thing about being vulnerable with yourself first is, afterwards, when I'm vulnerable with Smitty can't use that shit against me. I've already disarmed him and me against him using my vulnerabilities against me by facing my vulnerabilities. So once again, the sooner and the more often we do that with our ladies, with our spouses, with our women, the better the relationship will be, the more longevity the relationship will have.
Hey, like Troy always says about owning your power. Once you put it out there and you take on that, there ain't nothing they can talk to me. Troy, tell me what does love look like, man?
So I'm a firm believer in the idea of you give what you want. You understand that level of, you know what? I'm gonna say this. The one thing I do completely love about this conversation that we've all said is, men, we have to be vulnerable. And at the same time, we have to be able to be in a place where we feel we can be vulnerable. And the only thing that comes, the only way you get there, that journey is set up through being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And one of the things that vulnerability brings is that when you get someone that you want to be with, you have to be open enough to give up everything. You got to be open to give up whatever it is. If you find that person, you say, I love them, this is the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life, and I'm good. You have to understand what those words mean. Those words mean that I'm going to give up any sort of stupid little hangups I got because they don't matter. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I'm with this person. So that's it. Like he was saying, you can be able to speak love language, but can you hear love language? You see what I'm saying? So there's that back and forth. There's that giving and that taking that you have to do. It has to be. Because yes, I can speak your love language, but can I hear your language? That becomes the problem. But if you don't sit down and make sure you take time to communicate that, open yourself up to say, you know what? I know I'm flawed. Thank you for accepting my flaws.
Hey, listen. We all got trauma. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that trauma inhibits us from listening, right? So I just want to share really quick, because I'm asking you the question of what love looks like. And I just want to share this about me, if we're going to be full, authentic, and transparent. When it comes to my wife, my most beautiful, I think everybody understand this, that I call her my most beautiful because she is everything in my eyes. When we got married, I told her if she ever goes blind, she can hold my hands and I will be her eyes. I meant that shit. I mean that shit to this day. When we talk about what love means, and sometimes I can get a little ridiculous and over the top, but this is how sincere I am when it comes to my most beautiful. We have our differences. She could have left me a million times. I drink too much. I gamble too much. I do a lot of shit, right? But I will tell you this, I don't give a shit as long as she's on my side. If she shits, I will wipe her ass if her arm is broken. That's how serious in love I'm here with her ass. Now, that may be a little bit over the top for some, but when we start talking about love, the definition of love is a deep affection for someone. The affection means, man, it goes deeper than the physical appearance. We in it for the long run, the steeplechase, like the good bro Khalil talked about. Sometimes we can be, oh, yeah, this is my wife, this is my husband, but what you willing to do when it comes to love, when that other person, your spouse, the person you so-called love, can't do for themselves? Are you willing to bend over backwards and go that extra mile and lift them up when they can't get up? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel when we start talking about love. You know what I'm saying? Brother Khalil, man, thank you for bringing up the love languages, man. That's a real thing. Because I remember my wife telling me I was buying her diamond bracelets, diamond necklaces, diamond earrings. And after a couple years, she was like, Smith, I don't even want no more diamonds because it ain't even about that no more. You know what I'm saying? So understand, young brothers, if you're listening, like Ian said, sometimes it's not material, man. You just got to be there to listen, to bend the ear. You know what I'm saying? Before we shut this down, we got 5 minutes, gentlemen. I want one word piece of advice you give to a young bro going into a relationship with a woman. Give me one strong, lasting word. Go.
Loyalty.
Woo! I see Khalil,
you leaning. Go ahead, bro.
Khalil leaned in. Leaned in.
I want to hear this. I finally got to see the gray in that man beard. He leaned in so hard. Go ahead.
Hey, it's kind of hard to sum up in one. I'm trying to think of like one word that really sums up what you just said, Smitty, the love that it entails, the arduous task that it is. You know what I mean? Like commitment comes to my mind, but I want to think of really a resounding word because I'm a wordsmith, and right now it's escaping me. But I don't have just one word, but if I could really quick, I want to leave them with this little bit of nugget real quick because
talk to me.
Life is about the 3 E's. Life is all about the 3 E's: education, experience, and exposure. And I don't think we give each other enough credit to realize the experience and the exposure and the amount of things that educate us that shape who we are. So once again, going back to these conversations, if you actually truly have these conversations with your significant other, and it goes past that, have these conversations with your parents, with your children, with your brothers, with your sisters, with your community, with your pastor. But first and foremost, with your wife as well. Have it with yourself. Have this conversation with God. But life is about experience, exposure, and education. And once you realize that your wife has her own experience that led her up to being who she is, she's been exposed to some things that educated her to lead up to who she is. Same as you. So you can't expect this one cookie cutter. When you leading back to the beginning, when you said about expectations, man, you got to expect the best, but be prepared for the worst, because with that shitstorm of experience, education, and exposure, you don't know what the hell to expect until you dive deep into those conversations to figure out what their 3 E's are of their life, to make them tick, what their triggers are, and how that then meshes with how you tick and what your triggers are. So commitment.
So what you're saying in the shitstorm, all of these things that you bring into will be your umbrella and your galoshes, right? Talk to me, Troy. Come on, man. Talk to me. One word, bro.
Man, so I'm with Khalil. You brought 2 brothers on here who like to talk. I think, and
that's why I did it. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you always do. You always do. I think we need to understand, and especially for me, I want to push the idea of value in yourself and in your spouse. Because if you don't have that, what do you actually bring? It's not just about, in our 20s, yeah, that ass was popping. But as you get older and you want to be married, you have to give it a bigger spectrum, especially if you're a dude who not gonna want to do anything with your life, just be a basic dude, you get you a basic chick.
Basic.
You know what? But if you're a dude who wants to accomplish some things, the woman that you get has to be a little bit more complicated than a basic thing. But the only way you get to that is being honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of women that you can go get, but are they going to be able to take you to the next level where you want to go?
Ooh.
And then understanding with that, with going to that next level, there's going to be some complications and some bumps in that road. And you got to be honest with yourself enough to understand that whatever comes along is a lot. So I want to give you 2 words: honesty and value. And because you have to have that, and really understanding where you want to go. Because the fine chick could be fine, but is she going to get you to where you need to go?
Say that. Say that again. Say that again.
You know what? Like I said, the fine chick can be fine, but is she going to get you to where you need to go?
Right.
You know,
hey.
Some of us get lucky and get both, but
right.
You know, but that's what you really have to look at.
Hey, like that boy Mac Dre said, don't get caught up in that 42 fake. You know what I'm saying? Just because she fine, boy, your ass locked, dropped, and chopped. You know what I'm saying? Gentlemen, man, we 5 minutes from football to kick off. I just want to thank you for your time, allowing me your grace, your attention, your experience, your thoughts, your love, your energy, your power. You know what I'm saying? I cannot underestimate how much I just respect you guys. I love you guys. That's why I had you on here. I value your opinion. You did everything. You exceeded what I thought this conversation was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Look here, young folks, young bros, because this is what this is about. Young bros and us empowering our young bros and putting them in the positions to succeed in their relationships. Because in these schoolhouses, when I go in here, when I go into juvenile hall, a lot of our challenges is the male figure in the household, whether that's the dad, the husband, whatever the case is. This is all for you. Please share it. And again, the reason I got these young brothers on or these other brothers on is because I can't tell you just my standpoint. You have to hear it from a different point of view. And you see, we all come with different perspectives, but we still trying to gain and get to the right platform in the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, bros, I thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love you. Folks, it's your boy Smith the Speaker. This is my channel, man. Subscribe, hit the like button. Let me know you with it. You know what I'm saying? Next Sunday, we're going to be back here with another panel of bros. We're going to be talking about your relationship with your children. You know what I'm saying? So tap in Sunday morning. Again, you can find me, man, I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here on YouTube. I'm on email. I'm a phone call away. All 3 of these guys got my number. I'm on the back phone, bro.
He on Snapgram, Instabook, and Facebook.
Talk to me. Khalil know. It's about spreading that information because, again, I want to make sure that I deliver and I fill the gaps where our society fails and the young brothers fall through the same old traps that's been sitting there for generations and generations. With that said, we out. Black folks, I love you. Hey, have a conversation with someone that don't look like you and you might learn something. We out.